Okay, so it's been like 7 months since the last session of this, so I'm going to do a quick recap. Um, the the gang were on their on a train to Tubestone before being attacked by these weird sort of humanoid jackal creatures. After fending them off, um, they arrived sort of battered and bruised in Tombstone, and immediately made the best of friends with the locals by removing a strung up Aarakocra from the middle of town. Yeah. And then decided it was the smartest idea to go and try and take on a gang run by Bill Burdock, the butcher, for his massive bounty on his head. Um, so they managed to scrounge a shitty carriage from the mayor, um, and devised a plan to get their way in to the fort. On the way, they met a traveler who turned out to be a ghost, just roaming the wastelands. And then after roughing up Horatio, who can't be here unfortunately, they got into the fort quite easily, surprisingly easily. And got into a massive, just hectic gunfight. Lots of damage on both sides, but Bill went down. And I think we ended with a storm just beginning and an unknown amount of bandits outside telling you to come out. But I think you've got other plans. So Silas is unconscious but stable on the ground. I believe Anson was dragging one of the bandits towards the open doors, and Horatio was being a city slicker somewhere, and I'm not sure what Tanta was doing. But why don't we...
I think Tanta was probably administering to the unconscious man to stabilize him.
So let's just pop straight back in. We're out of initiative. I do have it written down, but we'll just roll some new ones. It'll be more fun. So the rain is now just starting to heavily pour outside. It's like clouded over. It's pretty dark. And yeah, there's if you remember, you're in sort of a chapel kind of thing. Bunch of tables that have been knocked around. Lots of dead bodies. There's a tower to this chapel. Yeah. It's like an old mission part of the fort. And out the front doors are sort of a courtyard. And another courtyard, sort of beyond that, where you have the wagon, which has the explosives in. You left there, but you can, if you were to go up to the door, you'd be able to see it. So, what are you guys doing? I guess I'll give you a little bit of time just to sort of re-establish your characters and stuff. Yeah, you're dying slowly.
I look over to Tanta and ask if she can do something about Silas on the ground there.
I think I've got him stable. Should I do...
I think he'd be a little more used to us if he was maybe conscious.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me see what I can do. And
might be a hot shot, but at least he lands a lot of those shots.
Oh yeah, he can do what he needs to do. So she's going to like place her hand on it, and she's on him, and kind of hang on to her little antler that she uses as a spell focus. And she closes her eyes and like searches out the spirits in the room, and speaks a few words, and a kind of a blue crackling energy comes out, and rolls over him, and she's casting Cure Wounds. Should I be rolling for the thing?
Yeah, roll for Cure Wounds.
Okay. Yeah. And he's going to get back 9 points of health.
All right. You hear a voice sort of pick up from outside, sort of interrupting your conversation. It's a different voice to the one that was shouting before. Like, come on now. Haven't got all day. You coming out?
Yeah, we'll be out shortly. Give us a second.
So kind of like his eyes would kind of refocus and come to as these wounds kind of. I'm almost imagining she's like smoking something over him and like shoving like bitter herbs in his mouth or something. And he kind of just like comes to his, oh, what is that taste? And he would turn and look at Tanta and then look at like maybe some poultice smeared over his wounds. And I believe Harry.
With her face very impassive, she looks back. That is the taste of life.
It's disgusting. This is what life tastes like. You probably should have let me go. And he's kind of like wiping his mouth on like his duster, like trying to get the bitter herbs and this like he almost tastes like bark, like some sort of bark she was making him chew out of his mouth and just spitting it on the floor.
And there's like the smell of ozone from the spirits too.
Yeah, so it's just this nasty concoction. It's like you got a little bit of everything in there. And he kind of sits up and like looks at his wounds. Oh, I'm grateful, I guess, but oh, what happened? Last thing I remember, Burdock was running past it. Oh. And Harry, I believe what we decided on for my lingering injury for going down was that I had the internal bleeding, yes?
Yes, I think it was.
Okay, yeah. So he would kind of sit up and like he'd reach down and pull out this buttoned shirt out of his trousers and like pull it up and look at his chest, and there's like it's modeling, like kind of like a mottled purple and red, as you can see the blood kind of starting to like this internal bleeding is kind of like pooling. Well, that can't be good. And he'd slide his shirt back down and just kind of grunt in pain as even that slight effort hurts.
Well, I don't think we have very long. What are we going to do? I reckon there's a whole whackload of them out there. And I only got so many bullets.
And Silas would kind of just look at you, shake his head. Give me a second. And he'd look over at his revolver, which I imagine is still kind of warm on the tip from being shot so many times. And he would kind of like pick it up and just shake his head and look down at one of the bullet holes and stick the tip of the revolver in the hole, searing it shut. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
All right.
And
is there a window while he's doing that I can look out and just try to like not obviously put myself right in front of the window, but just get a peek and see if I can get a count on them?
I think last time we determined there were windows upstairs too.
So, there's at the front there's this sort of open double doors with some really tiny sort of window slits either side. There's also windows sort of at the back, like towards where the tables were.
But not towards where they are, presumably?
Yeah, well, there's the two little window slits at the front of where they are.
Okay.
Or at least where you can hear them from. And the ones at the back sort of probably look out onto the plains. But looking around, you spot sort of right in the sort of corner, in a dark corner, there seems to be a pit into the floor.
Like a hole in the floor?
Like a fairly maybe a couple of meters across, just right in the corner.
Go over there and like look down and see what I see.
So you just walking over, you're just met with this horrible, disgusting stench sort of emanating from this pit. Looking down, you see like these piles of rotting bodies, and just in the corner there seems to be a crouched figure sort of in the fetal position, sort of with their arms sort of covering their head and face.
Well, shit, there's someone down there. We
Let me
ain't got
send
time for
Flash.
this.
Let me send Flash down to look.
And then while she's doing that, I imagine, you can say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine like Horatio probably has like some fancy silver like pocket watch, or somebody has some kind of silver like.
Yeah, I imagine Horatio would.
I go kind of like go up to him and just point at that, see if I can have it, and I imagine that he probably would hand it over kind of confused. I'd kind of rip it off, and then flipping it open, I would like to use like the shiniest side and kind of put myself up against the wall. And I know that's probably not going to be like the best perception check, but I just want to, without putting my face in front of the window, to peek out and see if I can see.
Yeah, well, we'll just make
I imagine disadvantage.
Yeah, make a perception check with disadvantage.
All right, I gotta count how many's out there, and then that is at 14 and 16.
Nice. So 14 altogether. So obviously Horatio, being a city slicker, I mean, his pocket watch, doubles as a mirror, so he can apply his makeup. And you can spot at least 4. There's there's 2 with their guns range standing sort of right by the wagon, and like another 2 sort of either side.
And correct me if I was wrong, but when we were walking in, and because like we basically said we captured somebody and they let us in, we seen like quite a bit of men, right?
I'm trying to think.
I thought we like walked by a bunch, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you saw at least 3 when you walked in.
Can I do like a history check to see if I know how many, like what kind of gang Billy ran with? How big?
Yeah.
Well, we know there was definitely Billy and 2 lieutenants.
Yeah.
And then was there like and then we just didn't mention how many other head there were. But I mean, maybe we saw some coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw at least 3 coming in. I remember that.
All right. Well, I got count of 4 out there. I'm not sure how many more there might be, but
yeah.
Did we see any on the walls as we approached?
Yeah, you saw 2 on the walls and 1 at the tower.
So I mean, there's at least 6 out there then. Because there were 4 that escorted us in, but 1 person came downstairs with us, so we killed him. So that would leave 3 out there, plus the 2 on the wall and the 1 in the tower. So there's at least 6 out there.
Yeah.
How much ammo you got, Silas?
I would kind of lift myself to my feet, kind of grunting in pain like definitely in pain. And I would kind of stumble up the stairs, making sure to stay out of the doorway, to the man that Horatio dropped with the rifle. And I'd pick up the rifle. Is it a repeater or is it like a sniper?
It's just it's not a sniper. It's just a rifle. I think it's 5-shot.
Yeah, so it's 2d12 then, right?
2d10.
Or 2d10. So because the sniper does 2d12, that's right.
Yeah.
So I'd pick up the rifle and I'd kind of I'd check to see how much ammo was in there and I'd fill it up with whatever it needed. And then I'd pick up Billy's revolver and slide it into my pocket, into just like my bag, because I mean I don't have any more holsters. And then I'd pick up as much ammo as I could for this rifle, and I'd fill it up, and I'd put the rest kind of in like my pocket, just ready to be pulled out as I need to. And what I'm going to try and do, so I'm going to have Ansa give me direct, like kind of like where they are. And if you allow me to, what I want to do is I want to pop up and take shots at them, like one at a time, kind of just like sniper.
Okay, so
like pop up, shoot, and then go back down and switch positions, go over to the window, pop up, shoot, go back down.
Yeah, it's that tiny little like slit that you'd be able to shoot through. They'll probably have a tough time shooting back as well.
Yeah, I mean, I figure even if I can take at least just 1 or 2 out, that increases our odds just that much more.
Yeah. I will just get back to Carol real quick with her fox. She's sending that down the hole. So you.
Come on, Flash. Go on down. I know it's horrible, but you can do it.
Yeah.
And she.
Standing right by the edge of this pit, it's absolutely just foul stench. And you can hear just this faint sobbing coming from the crouched figure. Looks like it might have been a woman. Seems very sort of gaunt and wearing rags. Really hard to tell. Like, they're so thin.
Just going to send the fox basically right up to it. The fox can understand speech, doesn't speak, but I have a
The
telepathic
fox,
link.
yeah, the fox will hop
A flash will
down,
go up and maybe lick her hands or something
yeah,
and try to.
landing on the corpses and approaching this figure, and she falls silent as the fox sort of goes right up to it. The fox sort of like outreaches sort of its head and starts sniffing, and then sort of recoils back as this figure sort of lunges at this this fox with outstretched hands. What's the AC on that fox?
Let's see. Where's it's 15.
15. So this gaunt woman grabs this fox, slashing at its side with what you can now see as claws, dealing 6 damage to your
Okay,
fox.
he's resistant to slashing damage, so it would be
It's fine.
3.
And you now see this thing's face. It's this flesh sort of rotting off of it. This thing is not living.
She calls her fox back, and he. I don't know. We're not in initiative, are we? So
Nope.
he can just do something. He can use his blink action, and teleport 10 feet to someplace it can see.
Oh yeah, just above. Like it just blinks out with this
Right next
small
to me.
gash down its side, and the sorry, yeah, definitely. So she stands up and tries to sort of start to pull herself out.
Yes, and
She starts like this just horrible like shrieking noise.
and Tanta's like, they have some sort of horrible undead creature in there.
And you hear this shout from
Everyone get ready.
outside. I hear you woke Sal. You know, might be a good time to start coming out of here. Well, you know, we can go our separate ways. No need for bloodshed.
How we know you're not going to light us up full of bullet holes the second we open that door?
Look, you killed Bill, right? So we don't want to mess with you, but we also want to stay here. This is our home.
You're a bunch of bandits. How can we trust your word?
We may be outlaws, but at least some of us are still gentlemen.
I tell you what, you lay those guns down and we'll think about it.
Yeah, we got you outnumbered. You can't pull that one on us.
The moment he starts to speak again, Silas is gonna pop up and take a shot right at that voice.
Oh shit! Okay, all right. Take a shot.
So I need to make a con save first to see if I can like move through the pain.
Oh yeah.
And I succeed. I got a 17. I need to get a 15. So I'm gonna take a. I believe what level are we? Level 3?
Yes.
Oh, I only have 1 shot. Dang. Oh well. Okay. And that is a. Oh, do I need to roll at like disadvantage or anything for like the disadvantageous position of like shooting through this crack? Or does he just get a bonus to AC because it's kind of like a small window?
No, he is definitely surprised. So
Okay.
just
well,
roll
in that
normally,
case-
but if you hit, it's going to be a crit.
Okay, so there's no negatives then. I got an 18 then.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Okay, so it's a crit then.
Yes, he is definitely surprised. Like he is not expecting this.
Oh, that's a good crit. That's a 10 plus 9, 19,
Doubled.
plus my that puts that at 20. Oh, so that's 19, 23. And then he's not injured or anything, right? So he has no.
Oh, he's definitely. Well, I mean, can you be injured when you're dead?
Okay, well, that's 46 points of damage, so I'm assuming he's dead.
He was just vaporized.
Yeah,
like
I think we lock eyes for this moment when I pop up, and like he
Yeah.
looks at me, and I look at him, and I just wink at him, and just boom, and then I drop back down beneath the staircase.
So, like in response, you just get like this blast of rifles and pistols and shotguns just going off straight back out. You can hear like them clinking off the walls. Let's roll some initiative.
All right, one thing really quick. I have that spirit sense where I'm aware of creature type and location of any undead or elementals within 60 feet of me.
Yep.
Would that tell me what Sal is?
Sal, give me a second.
I should have actually known that before I sent the poor fox down.
Yeah.
I got to get used to all this. It's been a while.
Hold on. I've lost the page. Sal is a. So, what do you know? Like the actual like type of creature?
It says I'm aware of creature type and location of any undead and elementals.
Well, it's an undead, and it's like 10 feet from you.
Well, within 60 feet of me, so yeah.
Right, let me just. Oh, I just rolled a fantastic roll for my initiative. Can anybody guess?
One?
Yeah,
It's a nat 1. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'm going to get to shoot another one of these guys before they can respond.
Yep.
Let's see, initiative.
Just to make things interesting, I'm going to roll a separate one for Sal. Okay. Oh, and I'll also roll Horatio.
Oh, yeah, don't forget him.
Okay. And okay. So then, oh shit. Okay, yeah. It's you'll go.
Okay.
First.
Yeah, so I imagine they're all like looking at this slit now.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over. So is it like the window's like up on a little higher ledge, right?
Yeah. So, basically, there's one slit either side of the open doorway.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run back.
The doorway.
Okay, so I'm going to run back and I'm going to step up onto a table, and I'm going to turn and look out the window and see if I can see anyone on a wall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Make out.
Okay.
Somebody, but so you're backing away from the windows. It's going to be much harder to hit them.
Yeah, so I'm still going to try. I'm assuming they're going to get some sort of like an AC bonus. Like
yeah, they're going to get a good chunk of AC bonus, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to roll for my con save thing again. Yep. And what is my con save? Cool. So 13 plus 2, 15. So I can do it.
Yep.
So I'm going to take a shot. So that's a 12 with this rifle and plus 8 to hit, so 20.
Oh, yeah, that definitely hit.
Okay.
Roll that damage.
And that's going to be 7 plus 8, 15 plus 3, no, plus 4, 19 points.
What was that again?
19 points of damage.
He's dead.
Yeah, so I drop another one. I immediately fall to my stomach on this table, so there's no vision on me again.
Nice. Okay. Chris, you're going.
So as soon as Silas pops up and does his quick shot, I imagine that we're just met with this barrage of bullets, and a couple kind of break through the windows and the walls and whatnot and actually knock off the hat of Anson. He looks over, dropping to the ground with a loud thud. God damn it, son. What in the hell are you thinking? We could have talked. And then the bullets are kind of just ricocheting over his house. Well, for fuck's sakes. And he kind of spins his revolver, making sure it's loaded, locked it up. And we have a guy alive in here, right?
Yeah, you're sort of holding him by his cuff.
So I hold him by the shoulders. I'm going to go up to the door where I presume they are. And I'm just going to open the door and then kick him out and then kind of quickly follow behind and use him as like a meat shield and then peek out and see who I see out there, like how many there actually is.
Okay, so you've sort of like opened a door a bit, kicked him out, and just having a look while you're pushing him out. Okay.
Yeah, essentially I want to like make them think that we're coming out, and then that guy's the meat shield gets lit up, and then I peek.
Yeah. Okay. So you've sort of like opened a door a bit, kicked him out, and just having a look while you're pushing him out. Okay. Yeah. Essentially, I want to like make them think that we're coming out, and then that guy's the meat shield gets lit up, and then I peek. Yeah. So, looking outside, you see there's a body on the wall. Body in front of um, the wagon. There's one living guy next to him, one either side of the wagon, and you catch another one on the wall, sort of to the left of the door, and you spot another one to the right of the door.
So I got then 7 all day, and am I pretty confident that's all that's out there?
Yeah.
All right. So does he get shot up as I kick him out?
Let's see. No, they missed.
I'll
He
just
like falls to the floor.
I'll just blast him in the back of the head then as he goes out if they miss him.
Yes, and just before you sort of duck back in, you take a second look at the guy in front of the wagon and you recognize him.
All right, who do I recognize?
One of the people, the lieutenants. You recognize this guy, Franklin.
Franklin. All right, and that's for my thing?
Yes, I believe we talked about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sounds good. All right. Then is that my action item? Or did I do enough stuff to
no, I still you can still in action. This guy's like eyes just like widen when he sees you.
Yeah, and didn't we load that wagon with TNT?
Yeah, there's also a horse attached to it.
Whose horse?
My horse.
It's Carol's horse.
Did you name your horse, Carol?
I believe it
They
is
die
named.
whether I name them or not. It doesn't matter. It's Scout.
Yeah, it was named.
Fuck.
That's consent right there. They send it up to the spirits.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Do what you
but
gotta do.
I was gonna do. You see that Anson was gonna go back, but then when he locks eyes with Franklin, something in him changes, and he just peeks back behind the wall for a second, takes a deep breath, and just has this look of absolute focus on him. And he's going to spin out again. And as shots are being fired, he's going to use a Deadeye grit point to shoot at advantage. And I'm going to try to just absolutely blast that TNT.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see. It's a good AC for this, I think. All right, make a.
I rolled. Sorry, I was supposed to make a check.
Just shoot it like normal
Shoot it.
attack. Yeah.
At advantage, I rolled a 26 because of my grit point dead shot.
That might just hit. Yeah. Okay. Right. Give me a second. I've got to do some rolling here. So let me just check how the big fucking gunpowder keg works. How much damage it is. Where's the stats for this? 76. Right, cool. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna roll for the. Do you want me to roll for Franklin or the horse first?
Let's do Scout.
See if the horse can survive. I very much doubt it. Nope. The horse rolled a 5.
Uh-oh.
I need to get some d6s here. Hold on. I need.
Oh, Taunt has known all along. Once we got stuck in here and Scout out there, that it was not good.
Yeah.
Didn't look good for Scout.
Okay, let me just roll this damage. Oh boy, that's not good. Well, Scout's very, very dead. Like, seriously dead. Alright, let's see if Franklin survives. Oh, he failed as well. Okay. And is anyone else need to make a save? Yes. I think
Yeah, there should be lots of people there,
the
right?
more guy needs to make a save. He passes, but he's still dead. Because I rolled 31 on a 76.
Nice. So how many did I end up killing?
Killed, definitely killed one. You killed Scout.
Okay.
And
One for Scout.
yeah, Scout's dead. And Franklin, you see him get like blown like away from the thing, and he lands like face down in the dirt. You're not quite sure if he's alive or not, though.
All right, I'd pop back out and say that there's 7 out there that I counted, and then I'd look out again to see the keg. And did the buddy beside Franklin on the thing die?
Yeah.
All right, probably 6.
Yeah, so you definitely killed one, possibly Franklin as well. You'll probably want to confirm that though. Yeah. So, Carol.
Tonda is being very aware of the spirits and what's going on in that roiled up spiritual world around her because of that undead creature and all the people that had died down there fairly recently.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to attack Sal.
Okay.
And she's going to hold up her antler and concentrate and pull in all the spirit power from all these people that have been murdered and just channel that towards her in Guiding Bolt for a ranged spell attack. And that's 23 to hit.
Oh, yeah. That definitely hits.
Yes. And a total of 16 damage. I did it at level 2.
Nice. Oops. Well, I cannot add or subtract either one. So, blasting this thing, you hear this horrible, like, shrieking noise. You kind of angered her, and she's scrabbling even harder to try and get up there. I mean, this thing's maybe, like 2 meters deep. So she's going to struggle to get out. But she's still...
Hopefully we
still
knocked her
moving.
back a little anyway.
Yes, definitely. She's still moving. Okay. Anything else?
Let's see. She's going to send... I don't know. It's like Flash's turn, I assume, with hers. I really don't know exactly how that's supposed to work, but...
Your,
her little fox.
Fox thing. I have no idea.
To do this thing.
Is the fox a familiar, Carol?
Basically.
I think with familiars, they can only like basically aid others. Like they can't. I'm pretty sure that familiars can't do attacks or anything, but unless it's like a special familiar.
He has. He is a special familiar, but what I was going to do was have him. He can cast guidance at will, and I was going to send him to give someone a. Let's see. Give someone a D4 for any kind of. All right.
Ability thing, I think, for guidance. Ability checks for guidance.
Yeah, so he can use his reaction to impose. No, that's a different. Oh, yeah. He can impose disadvantage on an attack roll with its reaction, but the cast guidance. He touches a willing creature, and he can roll a D4. The number is for one ability check of its choice. Rolled before or after making the ability check. The spell ends after it's used.
Okay.
So he's going to give my mind just went blank as to names. That's terrible. He's going to give Silas this guidance in case he needs to do an ability check for his shooting.
Right. It is Sal's go. Sal beat Horatio in his initiative. So Sal she's going to attempt to scrabble out of this this hole. Let's see. Oh, she's pretty good. Okay. All right. Let's see if she can get out. That would be a yes. Oh, nice. So she, with the strength of somebody that is not like her size and frailty, she pulls herself out and starts sort of lumbering her way towards you, Tanta.
I take it
And
she
she's-
doesn't reach me though.
She might do this pretty secluded in here. It's pretty tiny. She's gonna sort of come right up to you, but she's not gonna attack you. But I need you to make a con saving throw.
Alrighty.
Yeah, this stench that's just emanating from it is just disgusting. I can barely stand it. Oh, what did you get?
I'm sorry, I had to find my sheet. That'll be a total of 19.
Yep. Yeah, you're fine. The smell of your tobacco is somehow overpowering the stench of decay and death.
Well, I mean, I work around dead things all the time. This is something that you do as a, as a seer and a spirit worker. You deal with dead people. It's not as bad for me as it might be for someone else.
Oh yeah. So, does anyone remember what guns Lionel had?
He had the smaller 6-shooter, not the heavy.
Oh, he had a
medium?
light revolver.
A light revolver.
Or was it the Derringer that he had?
I don't think it was a Derringer, no.
That sounds familiar.
Was it 2 lights?
I think he only had one gun.
Yeah, I think
Might
it was
be
only
a-
one.
Might be the medium
Maybe-
then.
Yeah, maybe a medium revolver, just one gun though.
Yeah, I'll give it a
It's
medium.
that blood hunter thing, but I don't know if he could use that again.
I have no idea. I'm just going to roll him as a fucking straight shooter.
Okay.
He's going to take a shot at Sal. Try and save you. And that's going to be a hit. Nice, Lionel. Doing well. Let's see. You guys probably have a +3, +4 maybe? Probably a +3.
Our proficiency bonus is +2 still.
No, not proficiency, damage. I think it's +3.
Everybody
Oh,
had
for
really
his-
good
oh, yeah.
stats, so
So you
probably.
10 damage. Not enough to kill Sal, but enough to get her attention at least. Next. Right. It's bandit time. So okay. What are they gonna do here? Oh yeah, I think you guys forgot about a certain bandit. You hear this like crash as this door inside the right near you is just slammed open, and this guy bearing a rifle steps out and looks for his nearest target. And it's gonna be Horatio. Whoops. Kill Lionel right here. Yeah, this guy has just come out of the tower and walked his way down. You have one in there with you now. I'm so sorry if this hits Lionel. I'm guessing his AC is 15 or 16.
Sounds about right.
Well, he's safe now, I think. Yes, he is safe for now, I believe. What did I give these guys? Yeah, no, he's good. This guy just misses. Just epically. Makes an epic entrance and just immediately misses. So you'll still need the door, aren't you?
Me?
Handsome.
Yeah, I imagine I'm near the door, but I backed up against the wall and would take whatever reasonable cover I could around there. I would stay close to the door though, for sure.
Did you leave the door open or did you close it?
Oh yeah, door open.
Door open. Okay. So you hear this sort of running of the footsteps outside over the rain, and this guy comes barging in, swinging his rifle, and he tries to smack you with the stock as he charges straight into the door. See if you can actually do anything. And oh fucking hell! So he swings his rifle, aiming straight for your head, just deftly duck it, and the butt of his rifle slams into the wall and just snaps straight off. He's now just left with this completely shattered rifle, as I just rolled a fucking 1. God. And he's just left there like, oh fuck. And the rest, you just hear more shots against the outside, and like some of them like just go straight through the door and like ping off the back wall. And we go back up to Tyler. Fucking my rolls, man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we've got a lot of problems in this room now, so the rifle isn't going to be a huge help. So the rifle drops out of his hands, and because I'm a dual wielder, I can draw and stow 2 weapons at once. So those 2 heavy revolvers are in my hands, and I can dual wield anything that isn't light now. So the 2 heavy revolvers are in my hand, and I'm going to focus on this guy with the shotgun first. So 1 shot going at the guy with the shotgun. And that is a nat 20.
Okay. Hold on, let me just think. Can you kill him in 1 shot without even needing to roll?
Well, I got a 6 and a 6. That's 12 plus 4.
He's
16,
already dead,
32 points. Yeah. I look at this guy, and he realizes his mistake as he's like pumping the shotgun again, and he looks up at me, and I just drill him right in the heart. So I've got like 1 gun facing this way.
Yeah.
And then I turn and look at the other guy who came in the door, and the other gun's facing that way. And I'm going to shoot him, too.
Okay.
And I'm also going to hunter's mark him.
Okay.
And that is a 18. Well, actually, I get plus 8, so that's a 20 to hit. And that's going to be 2d8 plus a d6. And 7 plus 6, 13, plus 5, 18, plus 4, 22.
He's gone. Yeah, he's dead. There's not many alive now.
Yeah, and then the revolvers are just stowed away in the same turn because I'm not going to move, so I can stow them again. I pick up the rifle, and with my last 10 feet of movement, I start moving towards the tower.
Okay.
Just assuming that they'll be able to hold this room while I get up there and pick off the rest of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Anson, that guy just runs in and smashes his rifle and then just immediately dies.
All right. I imagine since I was probably pretty close, a bit of blood splatter kind of hits me up in the face and gets all in my beard. Anson doesn't even take the time to wipe it. He's looking at the shotgun that no, there's no shotgun, right? Near me?
He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah, but did he drop a shotgun near me?
He was a little
the
bit
shotgun came in from a different door. That was the tower.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah. I'm gonna, again, now that I've looked outside a couple times, can you describe exactly what it's like immediately out in front of this door? Like, what do I see?
Out in front of the door, there's the guy that you shoved out is lying down, not moving. You see, like, you see Franklin starting to pick himself up. And you see another, I think it's one on the walls either side of the door, and there's another one.
If I pick up this bandit on the ground and kind of like move forward with him as a meat shield, is there anywhere within reason that I can get to like cover?
Let me think. Let me just look at the map real quick. Probably not, because there's a well to your left, straight out the door, but because you have 2 guys like on the walls, they can shoot one guy can shoot you if you were to hide behind the well.
All right, I'm gonna step out and shoot the nearest guy on the wall first and just see what happens and go from there. So that is a revolver shot of 18 to hit.
Yep.
And I'm hitting for 18 damage.
He is very dead.
All right. And then there's another guy on the wall kind of next to him, right?
Yeah, there's another guy on the wall on the opposite.
All right.
side.
I'm going to action shards then and try to shoot him. And that is not so good, but I'm going to spend a grit point. Can I do that, or is that too late?
No, fine. Yeah, spend it.
And then I'll shoot again. This time 17 to hit, assuming that does it. And that's a only 10 to hit this time. No, that's impressive.
Oh, only 10 to hit.
Yeah.
So, 10 won't hit him. Was that? What did you mean the damage there?
Yeah, that was 10 damage.
Oh, right.
On
He's
him.
alive.
Hey.
It's never happened to me before.
Can I like bonus action with my mechanical arm grab the guy that's crouching beside me?
Yeah.
Or is that too much?
Huh? Yeah. This guy's like barely conscious. It's like hanging on.
All right, do you want me to do a check to see if I can pick him up and use him as
you can,
half cover?
Yeah, you can pick him up, no problem.
All right, perfect. I pick him up. You're coming with me, boy. We're going to go talk to your lieutenant.
You fired off 2 shots, I think, so you got 3 left. Oh yes, you pick him up and start going towards the Franklin who's trying to pick himself up. Let's go to Carol, who's got Sal in her face.
You know, with the revolver,
yeah.
How many shots do we get in a turn?
How many attacks do you have?
I have 1 attack, so I just get 1 shot, right?
Shot,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to decide to try to shoot at her. She's going to grab her revolver up in both her hands, and she's shaking a little bit, and she's going to aim. And I would imagine that 7 is not going to hit Sal.
Nope.
Unless somebody has inspiration, I don't think I do.
Don't think so. But no, 7 is not enough to hit, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so her bullet goes wide, and with that roll, it wouldn't have mattered what I did.
Anything else?
She's going to send little Fox to give. Let's see. I almost forgot I could do this. He's all right. The Fox is going to. He's going to wait, and if Sal attacks me, he's going to use his reaction to do the disadvantage thing.
Okay.
So.
All right.
That's about all
So
he's gonna do. I mean, he's not. I don't see much else he can actually do this turn unless he wants to give someone else guidance.
no, he's going to give disadvantage to Sal.
Yeah. Well, that's a reaction. It's not an action.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Sal's
he
going to
could
attack you,
still.
so you probably want to use it.
Yeah, but I mean, he can do his action and then still have his reaction.
Oh, okay.
To deal with the attack. So he's going to give guidance to. Actually, that's a touch thing, and I don't think he's going to leave and come back. That seems like an awful lot. Because he would have to leave me and come back and do an action.
I think he's already at Silas as well, because he was giving guidance last time.
Yeah, well, if Silas hasn't used it, he would want to give it to Anson as well. Or does he? I don't really understand it. Oh, it's concentration. Never mind. He's just going to stay with me and be ready to protect me.
Okay. Well, probably going to need it now because Sal's about to start grabbing and trying to kill you. Let's see. This could be nasty if it hits. Potentially. Right. So Sal is going to lunge forward at you and try and like rake across your face with her outstretched claws. That's a natural 20 unless you want to impose disadvantage.
Definitely imposing disadvantage.
All right, let's see. So that's a miss. That's only a 12. It's got to be a miss, right?
The little spirit fox, just dances around and distracts her so that she actually misses after all, even though she's honed in and about to do a terrible, terrible attack.
Yeah. Oh, that natural 20 would have been nasty. Right.
Probably would have killed me.
Well, yeah. Horatio is going to take another shot at Sal to see if he can put her down for good. Come on, City Slicker. You can roll high. Yep, that's a hit. You got a 22? Yeah. 2d6. Oh yeah, Sal is put down. So, like, you see like the side of Sal's head just like explode, just paste this grey gore on the side of the wall, and she slumps down, and the city slicker's looking proud of himself. He, cheekily blows the smoke away from his barrel. And they'll like turn to sort of get ready to move towards the door. And bandits. So you, Anson, outside, you see Franklin like scramble to his feet, and he's actually going to start running away. Like you see him like hobbling as fast as he can towards, not towards the way you came in, but a different way.
And he recognizes me, you said, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like you see, like you saw his eyes widen, so you can only assume that he sort of recognized you. But yeah, he's running. He's fucking just going. And the other, I think it's one left. Also, no, it's two left. Two left. One on the wall that survived, and there's one other. So they're both going to take shots at you. We'll give you a plus 3 to your AC for having this body.
Sure.
Right, what have I got to? What's your AC at the moment?
Not plus the 3, so naturally 15.
Okay, so I'm gonna beat 18. Fair enough. Nope. So the bandit in front of you shoots, and the bullet just like lands in the chest, and you feel like this guy like getting pushed back by the force of the bullet, and you feel it with him, but it doesn't penetrate all the way through. And the guy on the wall who you just shot is going to take a shot with his rifle. Oh, he's definitely dead now. Yeah, the bandit you've got like falls limp in your grip.
Throw him to the side.
Right, let's see this other guy can hit. Probably not. I think that's a 17.
17 would hit me if I don't have the meat shield anymore because he's dead.
Well, yeah, you just threw him down, so yeah, that's going to hit you. This guy's got a rifle, so that's
Yikes.
2d10. This could hurt.
Bring it.
Okay, so that's 16 damage. So you want to describe to me that damage?
Imagine it hits me right in the shoulder, and it's like getting hit by like just fully tackled in that shoulder. My arm kind of flies back, almost hearing it crack or break. Blood just kind of gushes out. But as he's shot by this bullet, he doesn't even necessarily wince. He's just looking at Franklin, and he has this rage in his eyes, and almost like just tunnel vision, a blood rage.
All right. Back up to the top, but Tyler, you're running up this tower. You can definitely get to the top, and take a shot.
So I'd run up to the top of this tower, and I imagine that as I get to the top, I see Anson just take this bullet right in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I look at the man who shot him, and I figured that Anson's got some sort of a desire to finish Franklin off, so I let him have him. But instead, I look at the man on this wall, the one who just shot him, and I imagine he's completely oblivious to me, like he's like focusing on Anson.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna line up a shot, just like I sight in like right on this guy's head. Actually, at the top of the tower, did this man leave a sniper or anything?
No, he had his rifle with him.
Okay, but it was just a rifle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to buy me a sniper. Okay. I'm standing at the top of this tower, and I sight on this guy who just shot Anson, and I just kind of like aim in and just like hold my breath, just kind of like, because you don't want to be like moving, you don't want to be shaking or anything, because this long of a shot's important that you're immobile. And I'll shoot at him, and that's a 19 to hit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit.
Dude,
Describe to me that you kill him because he had 2 HP.
Oh, okay. Well, just as I sight in, especially with 22 points of damage. As I sight in on him, I kind of like. It's almost like there's the briefest of moments where as I start to hold my breath, like time just stops, and then the finger slowly closes on the trigger, and the bullet just like right in the side of this guy's head, and he gets the hit is so hard that he topples like sideways, almost like a flip, and falls off the edge of this wall.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I'll start to sight in on the other wall walker.
I think there's not another wall walker. It's just one near the wreckage of the carriage, the wagon. The rest are all, but it's just him and Franklin left. The rest are all dead.
Well, I'm looking at him then.
All right. So, Chris, Ansel, got one left, sort of standing in your way of Franklin.
And I imagine like he's kind of just like in a panic, maybe like reloading his gun or something, and
Yeah.
he's just in my peripheral. So Anson kind of like lifts up his revolver, and he's going to shoot him, but almost like not looking at him. Like he's an obstacle in my way. So I'm just going to shoot kind of absent-mindedly.
Yeah.
And I roll a 15 to hit.
That'll hit.
And I blast him for 16 damage.
And that's a kill. You just fucking not. You don't even look at him. You just take his head clean off. Carry on walking towards.
And then I'm
Franklin.
30 feet of movement walking towards Franklin. Who is he full on running, or is he's probably like kind of limp running?
He's definitely limping. Yeah, he's only moving at like half speed.
And
So,
I know his name, correct?
yeah.
Just gonna call out Franklin. There's no running. You know you can't run from me. Come here and accept what's coming for you.
You can just hear this like audible whimper coming from Franklin. He's like maybe 20 feet ahead of you, just limping away, just trying to scrabble. You can see there's a breach in the wall he's aiming for.
Can I get to him with my 30 feet? Does he?
No, you're like
that
20
slowly?
feet behind him now.
All right, yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of walk behind him. Definitely, Silas would be getting the sense that I have some unfinished business with this gentleman.
Right. So Carol.
So there's no-
Yeah. Just you and Horatio in here now.
Just me and Horatio, yeah, and the only bad guy that's left is the one that Anson's chasing down the street.
Yeah, you hear this shouting like out in the storm.
Yes. She's going to figure that there's not an awful lot that she can do. Maybe check Horatio out to make sure, see how he is.
I think he's pretty good for health, actually.
Yeah, I think he's fine. She doesn't really have a lot of options left right now.
Start looting, I guess.
Start what?
Looting.
Looting, yes. I think she's gonna go and like peek out the door and see what's going on and see that Anson is chasing this guy down. That's
It's just a lot of. Well, you see you immediately see the fallen body of Scout,
yes, I'll see poor bloodied, beat up,
mostly
bits of
blasted
Scout.
apart.
And she's
Yeah,
remains
well,
fairly impassive, although she's sad inside.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
he did
and just-
take 3 times his maximum health, so.
I imagine he's
left.
in a couple of 3 pieces.
Yeah.
And she just pragmatically, because there's really nothing else going on, she squats down so she doesn't make a target in case somebody's shooting, but she doesn't really see anybody to shoot. Lays
No,
her
it's a
hand
lot
on
of
Scout.
bodies.
Yes, and sends his spirit free, and actually
Wow.
starts doing that to all the men too. Just
that's nice.
passing their spirits on so they don't stay and cause,
Yeah.
angry
Cause
spirit
it-
problems.
All right.
She doesn't want any evil spirits floating around, She wants to get rid of them.
Yeah. Horatio is gonna sort of walk outside as well, see what's going on. So Franklin will continue to hobble away, and you can just make out him. He's actually like sobbing and crying now, trying to just get away from you, Anson. He's like, I heard about you. Oh God, just trying to get away. He's making good progress, but you're going to easily catch him up. By the way, no problem at all. Quickly go to Tyler first. You're coming back down the tower. You're back in the little chapel.
Yeah. Each step down those stairs, because I mean, like, when you have like a pain in your side, how like going downstairs is like the worst part. Well, he's internally bleeding, so I imagine that feels like 10 times worse. So he's like taking these stairs, coming down like real slow until he gets down to the main floor, and immediately he'd begin to kind of like he'd like sigh, looking at like the wreckage of the room, and he'd start to drag bodies out into the courtyard so that he can line them up to see, and equipment too with him, so he can see what their spoils are and like how many heads they have, etc. And he's looking to identify the other lieutenant.
Okay. Yeah, also restoration. So we'll jump out of initiative, and Anson, you can have your way with Franklin. You're going to easily just catch him up.
Yeah, so I walk up to him, and as the rain's kind of pouring down, you just see that the blood has kind of seeped into Anson's beard and all across his face from the splattering of the meat shield. And as he walks up to Franklin kind of turns around, cowering, and what he sees is a crack of lightning goes across the sky. Is more of a demon than a man. But then that darkness kind of fades away as the lightning illuminates his face, and you just see a man who has absolute hatred in his eye. He walks up and he steps on Franklin's burnt leg, I imagine, kind of crushing it into the ground. And then he bends down, and you hear the steam kind of blowing off of his mechanical hand. And you just hear the gears turning as he reaches in and he grabs Franklin by the neck and he pulls him in close. You said you heard of me. What did you hear?
I heard you were coming after us for what we did.
Tell me what you did. I want to hear it. Tell me what you did to Beth. Gonna put the revolver that's burning hot on the side of his temple and kind of burn into the side of his temple.
Yeah,
something like this.
I didn't want to. It was the others. They egged me on. I said we shouldn't.
About that.
This guy's like clearly lying.
I pull out the picture that I've been holding, and there's 6 men on it. One of which is Billy. Another of which is Franklin. Where are they? Where are the others? You have 2 options right now. You die quick, or you die real slow.
I don't know where 3 of them are, but
speak, boy.
That one he like points to one of the guys like standing next to Bill. He's close.
Gonna push the gun again, kind of even more into his temple.
I saw him 2 weeks ago in Tombstone.
Where was he heading?
I don't know, somewhere east. I don't know.
If I have any kind of dagger, I'm going to pull it out and stab it into his leg, his thigh, and drag it down and just kind of rip open his thigh.
Yeah, the rest of you just hear these just awful screams coming from Franklin, like almost inhuman.
I can do this all day. Give me something.
His name's Jeb.
Where was he going?
I don't know. He said east. But there's nothing out there.
Can I insight him to see if he's lying? I imagine that I'm probably not like even
Yeah.
coherent, but up to you. Insight. All right. You want me to do it at disadvantage or?
No, yeah, you can just roll normally.
All right. I rolled terribly.
What'd you get?
6.
Oh, okay.
I imagine the blood rage is just too much.
Yeah, after all this torture, you have only a really, really like trained professional could stand up to this kind of torture and
so
not
then
tell the truth.
After I'm not gonna get like what I want from him, I'm just going to stab him in the stomach over and over and over again. I don't want him to die quick. Like 20 times, just continue stabbing him, looking him dead in the eye as his life slowly fades.
Yeah, so you guys, Tanta's trying to release the spirits. Silas is just like rounding up the thing, and you hear this horrible sort of just constant like thrusting of this blade and this squelching sound as this guy's guts are like slowly pouring out as more and more holes like open in his stomach, and he's screaming just this entire time. Yeah.
I imagine at this point I'm absolutely covered in blood.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely just.
I probably
drenched.
look more undead than Sal.
Yeah, you've got
Whatever
this crazed look in your eye.
Is the party looking at me? Is Tanta looking at me most importantly?
Probably. It's hard to not.
I imagine Tanta isn't too far away, and she has quite high perception. I mean, she pays attention to everything.
As the rain's pouring down, I point to Franklin and I point to Bill Burdock. Their souls don't get released. They don't deserve it.
And she looks at him and says, "There's more than one place to release them to. It isn't necessarily a release to be free. It can be a release to go into a bondage, a permanent."
I don't care.
But we don't want them here.
I want them here. I want them to suffer.
Oh, they won't. They will suffer. They don't have to be here to suffer.
Just kind of like looking at you in the rain. It's probably like a fairly terrifying, like Anson, who was this kind of quiet older man, has just transformed into almost like this horrible monster now before you. He just looks at you and he has that like same unknowing hate in his eyes. It's obviously not directed towards you, but you just see a man who has hate that knows no limits.
And she looks at him and she said, "It's time to come back now." Just like gazes into his eyes with this piercing gaze. To look for the man and not just the beast. And she stands there resolute, just looking at him.
Staring into Tonto. I imagine like a minute passes before anything else is even said.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just kind of reaches up with his flesh hand and then wipes. There's mud all over his hand, but he wipes the mud and the blood out of his face, kind of like pulls it into his beard, which gives his beard this like slick, kind of muddy, almost like grease appearance to it. And then he just kind of gives you a nod, and the hate is gone, but you still don't forget what it looks like in his eyes.
No. But remember, she came after him when he was going to die on the train.
She does remember that. And what takes him out is the sound of his kids and his wife that he's seen. He sees them behind you, and they're staring at him. Is what he's seeing. You maybe
right.
Actually you would probably see that too.
She would be aware, yes. Not like solid figures or anything, but she would be aware.
He just mumbles, "I'm sorry," and then
because she knows that there was something very traumatic that happened to Anson that made him go be this way. You know, she's seen into his soul.
absolutely, and he just mumbles, "I'm sorry," and
Just
you're not
nods
sure if
at
it's
her.
to you or if it's to the people that are standing beside you.
Right.
But and then he just kind of like walks away.
Tanta just nods. Yes. And she goes and lays her hand actually lays her hand on Franklin. But she doesn't what she does is not the same as what she does when she sets people free. In a way, it's kind of a binding because she's going to respect Anson's wishes there. She caught enough of things going on in spirit that she doesn't want this spirit to be completely free. And she,
Okay. Oh damn, that was brutal. Right. Let's just quickly do. I'm guessing you guys want like a loot tally. You found, I think, Tyler.
Anson just wants the head of Billy Burdock to
Mm.
bring back to the mayor. He's gonna pop that off. That
Yeah.
should be enough to collect their bounty, right? Or was it like per head kind of thing? I can't remember.
there was it per head, and for the lieutenants there was
It
extra.
was Bill, the lieutenants, and per head bandit.
Yeah, so 2,000 for Bill, 500 per lieutenant, and then each additional head was like, I think it was like 50 gold. I'm hearing check.
That's 20, I think.
20 gold per head.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot of heads we're carrying in. If it's all right with
Well,
the group, I'll be
what
carrying in
Silas?
Franklin and
Sorry.
Burdock. I just want their 2 heads. That's it.
Well, what Silas thinks is that these people have been robbing for quite some time. They probably have carriages stored up somewhere. So
Yes.
he's gonna look for additional carriages and their horses, so we can pull them all the bodies back inside of the carriages.
Jeez.
Nice.
Tanta's going to go back to Sal, and she's
Yeah.
going to make sure that her body is burned.
Mhm.
And she's going to make sure that her spirit is forever banished to the spirit plane, so that it can't come back as an undead again. And she's going to be sure that spirits of all those dead, horrible, rotting bodies in there, which will also be burned,
Yeah.
are sent to be free in the spirit realm, where they will not come back either.
Yeah, let's take a quick break there, and I'll tally up some of this loot and what you guys find. Yeah, the swag.
Sounds good.
Let's take like 5 minutes.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
So can we pile all the bodies into the 2 carriages?
Yes.
Cool.
Just doing
Silas
this
would
in
be
the
doing
pouring
that.
rain. Oh yeah, so I'll just, tell the stream what they got, in case I lose my notebook. So it was 5 rifles, a heavy revolver, 2 shotguns, 8 medium revolvers, 15 horses, a steam bike, 2 carriages, and only 85 gold. And a bunch of ammo.
Yeah, I had some more I wanted to say about Tanta. What happened with her and Franklin's spirit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Tanta is a vengeance or revenge seer, she sees the pain and the suffering that people bring on one another, and she will judge appropriately and bring vengeance against those who have been wronged. And in this case, she was happy to see vengeance come against the killer of Anson's wife and family, because she knew when she saw them there in spirit what had happened. And what she did when she bound the spirit of Franklin was she bound it to the pain in Anson. And all the suffering he receives because of this murder of his wife and his family is going to be put tenfold upon this spirit. So until Anson is at rest, the spirit will suffer tenfold what he does.
It's cold.
It's what cold. She does.
Okay, can she see like the anger and the revenge and the desire for vengeance in everybody?
In this case, she sees it in the dead people. I mean, she saw the pain and suffering in the wife and the child. She saw their murder, and then looking in Anson's eyes, because she has a particular bond with Anson, having brought him back from almost dead on the train. She knows a lot more about, maybe not the actual details, but she knows what happened. And she knows what it's caused Anson and the murder of his wife and his family.
So you say the people that you bring back, you're able to connect with them in some way, yes?
She doesn't often get to actually bring anybody back like she did Anson, but yeah, because I know she basically went in the spirit world after him when he was having that vision and drew him back.
Interesting.
Did you get a similar thing when you brought Silas back? You're taking on all our baggage, Carol.
No, I don't. I'm trying to think, because no, there wasn't that whole thing with Silas.
Yeah, no, Silas's vengeance pertains to something else, so it might not be entirely applicable here.
Right. No, there wasn't like the spirit and the spirit walking to bring him back either. It was more of a physical.
Yeah, that's fine.
Healing.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering how you were saying your connections work and everything, just to see if you learned anything from him. But yes, this is a different situation. So, but yeah, Silas would kind of be limping at this point as he's like moving bodies into the carriages one by one. Presumably, there we go, with the help from somebody else, seeing as he's kind of very wounded. But he's not saying anything. And, we kind of just dumped this on you, Harry. Do you want to do anything for the after the break, like intros or anything, or what do you want?
I'm not really bothered, but yeah, if you want to do plug your channel over, yeah, go for it.
We can do it at the end though, if that fits better, because I mean, I guess we're kind of already in it, so.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not really with it. It's 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's fine. But Silas wouldn't be looking at Anson. He wouldn't want to make eye contact with him. He wouldn't look up at him, even if he was helping him move the bodies. Because, I mean, in some ways, Silas understands the pain, though you don't know why. But in other ways, what he just witnessed Silas Anson do was like in direct. It was in direct conflict with his own morals about this idea of like bringing unnecessary pain upon people, even if they've wronged you. I mean, it goes largely against everything that he stands for, and this is a side of Anson he's never seen before. So he would be avoiding eye contact. If you tried to make small talk with him, he'd give very, very short answers. Just kind of like, and he'd have a very pensive look on his face, as if he's considering something.
Yeah, I imagine as we're working together, it's actually pretty similar. Like Anson's not really doing a whole lot of talking, so I imagine it's probably just like pretty tense and awkward for Tanta and Horatio. Like Anson's just basically loading the bodies on the wagon, like it's another day's work. He's not really like paying attention or even reflecting about what he just did.
Right. So you guys spend probably an hour or two just in the pouring rain, dragging all these bodies into these carriages that you found. Piling up the weapons and, just 85 gold. It seems like for this kind of gang this size, that's not very much. So what do you guys want to do? You've gathered all these bodies.
I think first off, we want to get as many horses back with us as possible. So we're gonna do the typical stagecoach where 6 of them are pulling per carriage, so we can get 12 horses attached on there. One person guiding each carriage, and then whoever's not will be on, presumably the steam bike. Because I mean, I'm assuming that's probably worth a lot of money, and it's pretty epic to begin with.
Right. I would think before we actually do much else, we're going to get some rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think we're going to have to get a night's sleep in here before we finish up all our plans.
Well, and I think that's what would tip you off that something was wrong with Silas. Is that he's just working with this dead, emotional, like lack of emotion, like fervor. Like he's in some sort of a rut, some sort of like stuck in his mind somewhere about something.
He's not his normal self. Yes.
Yeah, basically. So I mean, like he's not cracking any comments. He's not, like congratulating everybody on successfully doing this. Yeah.
Okay, then at that point, Tanta will definitely want to do a medicine check on him.
Oh yeah, I need to mention that you did not find Jack, the other lieutenant, amongst the bodies.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Okay, I want to check something.
So Jack is out there somewhere.
What's his name? Like, is it just Jack, or does he have like a?
I don't think you learned his last name, so just Jack.
So yeah, she wants to do a medicine check on Silas. Or it doesn't matter. Inside or medicine, it's all the same.
Okay, yeah, go ahead then.
That would be a 14. That's not.
I'll let you decide. Tell her how much you want to say.
I think a 14 would be enough to know that though he is physically pained, that's not what's bothering him. What's bothering him is like I said, some sort of a mental block, some sort of like something that he can't get over. I think that you would also see, like, it would be pretty obvious that he's not saying anything to Anson. He's not looking at Anson. There's not their usual banter going back and forth. But there's just like, he looks haunted. Like something is wrong within him mentally and possibly spiritually.
So seeing that, Tanta's just going to lay her hand on his shoulder and say, "All right, what's going on?"
And he would just kind of look at you. I'm gonna roll a deception check. So I got a 14. You could try and insight me.
Insight.
But he's like,
yeah, I'll try to insight you.
Yeah. So he's
And
just like,
and
sorry,
that's
what'd you
a
get?
25.
Yeah, you definitely beat me. He's like, it's just my wounds are bothering me. I'll be okay.
Because that's not the problem. There's something more going on.
Look, Tanta, I appreciate the worry. I really do. But maybe now's not quite the time.
What's
Well,
the
she's
matter, Hotshot? Was being a hero not what you thought it would be?
Oh no, I don't regret killing these men. They deserve to die. Again, it's okay. I'll be fine. And if you were like still like staring at him, he'd move on to a different body, moving it by himself. Kind of, he's definitely trying to avoid whatever confrontation this is.
Go back
let
to
him
Rick.
be Anson. He's going to be a little here, I think.
Very well. I'd go up to you, and as we're kind of like, obviously, I imagine it's Tanta that's kind of like shutting down the rain because like Silas is ready to like pack up and go. Anson's not caring. He's like, okay, let's go. We're not really talking to each other. It's kind of that awkward tension. And then I come up to you as I'm like setting up the horses, and I just look to you and I say, here, have this. It's yours now. And I kind of pat my horse. Sorry about Scout.
Thank you. You did what you had to do. Scout is free. He'll be fine.
Take my horse instead. It'll make me.
There's plenty of
It's my way of
horses.
thanking you.
You needn't give up yours.
Are you sure?
I kind of fancy that black one over there. Actually.
It's a good horse I got. It's fast, but you don't hold any animosity towards me, then I guess
No,
it's all right.
no.
You want my take of the gold?
You meant no harm to Scout. You just did what you had to do. Probably saved all our lives.
I don't know about that. Kid
Hey,
had a
we're
couple good
alive, aren't
shots
we?
back there. You held your own too. Even
Oh,
that
thank
city
you.
slicker wasn't so bad.
She actually cracks a bit of a smile at that one. Says, we need to rest before we go.
I just want to get out of here, you know? There's a
Well,
lot
we need to
going on.
can we go a short distance and rest? We're all pretty beat up.
I mean, you could. I mean, it's absolutely pissing it down with rain.
Yeah, it's just thinking, we have a building here.
We didn't get them all. Who's to say that Jack doesn't go out and round up whatever bandits we didn't get? Cut our throats in our sleep.
That's true.
Well, I mean, this is a fort.
Probably
Yeah, it's got a
safer
couple of
here
holes in
if
it.
we
But,
lock it down and don't let them in.
there's also
Is it so big that we can't? But we'd have to search the whole thing to know if there was nobody hiding out.
yes, there's a couple of other smaller buildings. Sort of with the chapel. But they're
big is this
mostly
place, then?
sort of beds, that kind of thing.
It's up to you, Tanta. If you think it's best we rest, then you won't get any argument from me.
Let's. Can we fortify up a one of these buildings and?
I'm sure it can be done. Just gotta make sure they don't steal our horses.
Yeah, maybe we should fortify the stable.
I can stay up. I don't need to sleep. I'm not feeling too tired right now.
You're a bit of a mess.
Kind of like give a laugh. Yeah, I got a little messy back there. but I'm all right. Thank you. Thank you for what you did back there.
Oh. Yeah, I could see them.
Is she? Are they all right?
Yeah,
Are they
they're
suffering
all right.
anymore?
No, they're not.
That's all I
Except
want
they
to
miss
know.
you.
Silas is completely oblivious to you guys deciding that you want to stay, and he's already like reining the horses, basically, like kind of tying them to the girdles and getting them ready to head out. Just this mindless, like it looks so rote. There's no emotion. Again, just
Yeah.
he's bridling up the horses, and he kind of stops for a moment, and he looks down at the water in the courtyard, and it's running red, where one of the bodies was lying. One of the men that he shot. That doesn't bother him though. But what it does bother him is he looks up over at this crack in the wall, this hole in the wall, where he just sees the glint of a blade plunging in over and over and over. And one time, Anson stops and stands up and wipes away his face and looks back at them. And his eyes are just black to Silas. They're coals. They're the darkest part of shadow. And he looks at Anson, and Anson looks back but doesn't see him. It's almost like he's only looking back just to make sure there aren't more men to kill. And Silas shivers and just shakes his head and goes back to bridling up the horses.
I imagine it's at that point as you come out it that you notice that I've made my way behind you. And if you try to like just walk around and do something else, he'd be imposing himself in front of you.
Look, Anson, if you got some wisecrack, just make it. Okay,
No.
let's saddle up the horses. Let's get out of here.
No wisecracks, son. Listen, you got beat up pretty bad back there. I know you didn't like what you seen, but we need to rest. Tonto, Horatio, they're tired. I'm tired. I'd like nothing more than to put this fort behind us and collect our money, but we need to rest.
And Silas looks like he's about to respond with some sort of retort, like he wants to leave, and then he stops, and his lips just kind of come together in this tight pursing grimace, almost in a way, and he just nods because every single time he looks at Anson now, he just sees blood in his beard, even though the water's washed it away, even though his eyes are back to normal, even though that blackness is gone. He would just nod. All right, yeah, I see what you're saying. I'll go close the front gate and make sure the horses don't get out. And he would walk past Anson towards the gate.
So he's walking away. I imagine that Anson just knows by the way that Silas is looking at him now. He's seen it before. This isn't the first time that someone has witnessed this side of him. Only he's never had to deal with the fact that that's someone who's seen the beast that's inside of him still lives to look at him in the eyes again. And there's something inside of him that wants to say something, but he knows that he has no right. He has no right to have someone not look at him like that after they have seen what he's seen. So as Silas is walking away, he just calls out, "You did good back there, kid. You earned that name, Hotshot."
Silas would turn and look at him as he says this, and there'd be a flicker of a smile just there for a second. You probably can't tell if it's a real smile or if there's a fake smile. The rain is kind of like obscuring his eyes, so you can't see if the smile reaches them. Yeah, you too, old man. And he'd continue on towards the gate. And once he's out of the visual distance of Anson, once Anson can't see him anymore, he would shut the gate and you'd see him lean against a wall, and he'd be trembling. And he's not scared of Anson. he's scared of those feelings that he's seen in him because he feels the exact same way towards certain things from his past. And he's seen how this has consumed this man. And that scares him. That scares him more than being shot at. That scares him more than killing bandits or than coming to the brink of death himself. And that's because for Silas, what's the most important thing to him are his morals. And he realizes that he's been losing grip on those morals. And he's just shaking. And he pulls his dad's revolver out of his hand, out of his side holster, and looks at it, weighing it in his hand. And he spins the chamber once, and you see there's a small insignia of a star. His dad had it printed on there as a joke, kind of calling it the sheriff's gun. And he spins it, and that star keeps coming around and around and around. And when it stops, the star isn't what he sees. It's blank black metal. And he holds it gently in his hand. And he believes that his dad's out there now. Taunt has given him that belief, that hope. But at the same time, he's scared he's becoming someone who his father would have to put down. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm trying. Maybe this world isn't built for good men. And he'd slipped the gun back into his side holster. And you see at this point that raw emotion is on his face. He's crying a little bit, but he kind of just wipes it away real quick and kind of pulls his duster up around his mouth and makes his way back towards the carriages and into the mission of this fort. Kind of getting a fire set up inside of this room and preparing for the night, basically. He would just trudge past everybody into this room without looking at anyone.
Tonto would look after him with a look of concern in her eyes. Dealing with the spirits of the dead, dealing with vengeance against those who murdered and harmed them, she's seen a lot of pain. She's known some in her own life, and she's seen just a lot of pain. And she recognizes it when she sees it. She's learned a lot. But at this point, it's time to let Silas rest. And she prepares for bed as well.
Yeah.
She's very, she's not easily moved by these things. She sees them, she notes them, and she cares about them, but at the same time, it doesn't freak her out. She's already come to grips with how she lives and who she is, just because of the whole job of being a seer of vengeance, the shaman life. It's something you have to know and have to deal with before you can even do it. And she goes in and prepares for bed as well.
Anson would offer to take the first watch.
Silas wouldn't say anything. He'd let him if he offered to.
Oh. Horatio's like, yeah, that's fine with me, and then immediately just makes his bed and just goes to sleep.
Of course he does.
All right, so where are you going to take up watch? In the tower or the walls?
What's the best vantage point where I can
Probably up in the
essentially
tower.
where I can essentially see everything. As nighttime comes though, is because I'm obviously a human, no dark vision. Do I feel like that's going to be an issue or?
Yeah, it's pretty dark out there.
Well,
The rain is stopped, but the still heavily clouded.
I'll light like a couple.
One of the things though that Tanta's familiar can do, her spirit animal, he does have dark vision, and she can send him around to keep watch. And he can wake her immediately if there's anything unusual.
All right, I'll just stand watch on the tower then and just kind of listen more than anything.
Yeah.
She is willing to get up and take a, take a round.
I'm gonna short rest too, if that's okay, Harry. Do you think that we're not have enough time to do
Yeah,
that?
I mean, you can
You should be
do.
able. Can't you long rest? Take it, even
Yeah,
taking
you can
watch,
do
as long
watches
as
while
you're
doing a
not.
long rest.
Yeah.
You're not doing
Um,
anything physical,
Nope. So, yeah,
unless Harry has other ideas.
it's tempting. So,
Yeah, I'll
so,
take second watch.
so you send your fox like around like the outside of the fort, just like running around.
Yeah, and around our building, and then kind of around the fort. And he can just kind of keep an eye out all night, really, as a
Yeah.
secondary thing.
Yeah. So you get woken like by his sort of, I guess, like spiritual connection.
Yeah, he's got telepathic connection with me,
Yeah.
so
He sort of does he speak a language, or is it just kind of like emotions and
probably more pictures
pictures?
and smells and but I understand him. He understands languages. But he doesn't actually speak.
Okay, so you get this sort of like picture, like you wake up with this sort of picture like burned into your memory of like a far off hillside with two what looks like riders of watching the fort from a distance.
Okay, she's going to.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Is there anybody else? Who else is up when
So
she gets
actually,
awakened?
so Anson's probably still
Yeah, I'm just like
Oh,
up top listening on the tower.
He can't see anything.
She's going to actually get up and go tell Anson what she's received.
One thing I am going to say though is if Tanta, if you woke up suddenly like before your shift, you would see that Silas was awake too, and what he would be doing is his shirt is off, and he's kind of like he's got a knife that he's digging into his skin to pop these bullets out, and you hear him like grunting in pain. He's biting on a piece of wood. He doesn't want anyone else to have to help him with this. But you get a glimpse of his upper body, and it's covered in scars, like myriad scars. And they're not bullet wound scars. Like these are like knife wounds or like getting caught on like a jagged edge or like scars left over from receiving beatings. Like being a medicine woman, you would know these wounds are not from bullets.
Okay.
And he'd be digging these bullets out of his skin. There are bullet wounds, but not as many as like all these other ones. And he'd be kind of gritting his teeth like as he's doing this, kind of not wanting to wake anybody. But this is me using my hit dice to regain health. As he kind of holds the Bowie knife over the fire and then sears the wound shut.
Just like Silas, the fox saw people watching us, or watching the fort from a distance. 2 of them. And she just kind of continues looking at him.
He would jump as you said his name, and he'd like look at you and like quickly like grab his shirt, like kind of like this is something that he doesn't want people to see, basically, like all of these scars. And he grabs his shirt and like quickly pulls it on. Okay, which hillside? And he's like throwing on his duster and pulling out his guns and like loading up, basically.
She points off in a direction. Let's randomly pick northeast, I guess.
And he would just nod and stand up and run outside into the rain. He's going up on the wall to see if he can see anything in the dark.
And she goes up and lets Anson know. She wakes up. Horatio also. Since everybody's awake, she might as well be awake too.
All right. So running onto the walls, you look out into the night. You don't catch a glimpse of anything. Just darkness. There's no starlight, no moonlight.
And Tanta sends Flash to just kind of hang out with those 2 guys and keep an eye on them and let her know what they're doing.
Yeah, he's sort of watching. They're like riders. definitely some kind of men on horseback.
Are
I
they
have been able
actually
to
going
scavenge.
somewhere or just sitting there?
They're just standing there, like just watching.
Would I have been able to scavenge a side holster for my other heavy revolver?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm all loaded up and I'm running up to this wall. I'm gonna kind of patrol it towards the front of it, stealthily, like hoping that maybe nothing noticed me. But I'm gonna check each of the holes in the wall,
Yeah.
along with the gate itself to see if anybody tried to get in.
The gate seems secure. You don't catch any glimpses of people like hiding like against the wall or anything. Seems clear.
Yeah, if it seemed clear, I'd make my way down into the courtyard and then I'd check like the dirt in front of the gate and in front of this entrance, this hole, to see if there are any footprints or any signs of disturbance.
Yeah, so you just open up the gate, have a quick like look outside or whatever, and the only kind of disturbance you see is like obviously it's well worn with horse like travel. Quite hard to tell if anyone's been there, but by the look of it, probably not anything recent. Especially as the rain has kind of, smoothed it all out.
Yeah, I don't think I expected to find anything. I just was checking.
And Tanta told Anthony that there's like riders out in the horizon, just kind of watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I imagine I'm still up in the tower, and I actually have a cigar. So you kind of just see that cherry of the cigar kind of glowing high in the tower, and then an exhale of smoke. I ask her if she sees what they're doing, to which she told me that they're just kind of standing there.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of as the night's quiet, I'd say I would just kind of yell out through the night. We know you're out there. What do you want? Billy Burdock's dead. You're looking for him, all you're going to find is his head. If you're part of his gang, consider yourself lucky that you're not in this wagon of bodies, and carry on with yourself.
So, Tanta, you get another image burned into your vision of these two riders sort of turning, and you can actually make out these aren't riders. They seem to be like centaurs. And they turn and start galloping away. It's only now that they've turned that you can see that they are centaurs.
Is this something that is common in this world? Or that she would have ever seen before?
You've definitely heard about them, because you live, I think your tribe is further to the south, like a lot further to the south.
Yes, we're out.
These
Very much out in the wild.
tribes tend to stay up, sort of this, in the northern end, just south of the, oh god, what's it called? Just south of the Scorched Wilds. They sort of share the area with the Aarakocra.
Okay. So she's like, I think she was up there when Anson yelled.
Oh yeah.
She's like, Anson, those were centaurs. Those weren't men or horsemen just waiting there. They're actual centaurs.
You know what they would have wanted?
No, not really. They come from down the area where I come from. Down in that direction, anyway.
Are they normally hostile?
I've never had any problems with them, but then I've never met one before either. Would she know something? Could I roll like an insight or investigation or something?
Yeah, roll a history.
Okay. That's 16.
16. They used to be like extremely violent towards basically anybody in their territory, but in the last sort of 100 years or so, they've slacked sort of off their battles with like neighboring tribes and have sort of banded together and the sort of Confederation to actually take on the sort of new common threat, the threat of settlers. So they're all sort of working together. So if you're sort of they might have the odd skirmish with the Aarakocra, but they've kind of stopped doing that now, and they just spend their time raiding settlements. So yes, hostile.
Yes. Well, they tend to be pretty hostile. They used to be even worse, but I don't know if they've come together to form into bands in a more civilized version now. But yes, I would consider them pretty hostile, pretty dangerous.
Well,
and
then I think
to see just
chase
two of them,
off.
that's unusual.
Yeah. And two of them so far from home, there may very well be some purpose behind that.
They probably heard the gunshots.
Well, I
Reckon
mean, they didn't ride from where they live to here for hearing gunshots. They're way far from where they live. Weeks.
Well, like you
But
said,
I'm sure they came to find out what the gunshots were about, but
if it's
why are they even
uncommon-
in that area?
If it's uncommon that it's two of them, then I doubt that it's uncommon. I bet you there's more.
I'll bet there is too.
Good thing we chased them off.
I doubt if you chased them off. They may be back with the rest of their band for all we know. They've been banding together for raiding? So...
Well, all they're going to get here is a bunch of dead bodies, so hopefully they're smart enough to know that. You can go back to bed if you want. I'll keep an eye out with Flash.
Yeah,
Got a
Flash will wake me if he sees anything. He's
I'll
a
keep my
useful
ears
little
peeled.
guy. She sends a thank you to Flash.
Okay, so you head back to bed. You come down the tower steps. I mean, Horatius already asleep. He never even bothered getting up. And the rest of the night seems uneventful. You get the occasional sort of image in your dreams, Tanta, of your foxy friend like spotting the odd rabbit, but that's about it. The rest of you sort of take turns.
Yeah, I imagine that Anson actually like stays up a considerable amount of time before waking anybody else up, and then he would essentially do like 2 watches or even 3 if he could push his luck.
Well, you mean you won't get a long rest, but yeah.
Yeah.
Staying up that long.
Yeah.
In fact, make a con save.
Yeah.
Tanta's not in bad shape. There's no reason for Anton to stay up all night.
Well, he's doing it.
20.
Yeah, you're fine. You obviously won't get a long rest, but you're not exhausted. The adrenaline of just killing Franklin has sort of kept you going this long.
Yep. He's just sitting up kind of thinking about that, obviously running through it. He's thinking about Silas and how Silas is looking at him. He thinks about Tanta and what she said about Beth and his family and that they're okay. But those last words that she got out that they miss him. And he just thinks to himself that not much longer. I miss you too.
I'm kind of tempted to end it there, but we've only been going like 2 hours. Seems like a good little natural spot to stop, to be honest.
Yeah, and you said it's ridiculously late there, so don't kill yourself, man.
No, I think that's a really nice little stopping point.
Yeah, and without Lionel here, you don't want to do too much.
Yeah.
So I'll see you guys again in another like 7 months.
Hopefully next month. Do up a doodle.
Yeah, I'm so busy, but I think I can squeeze in one.
And I will talk to people and try to get a day off that you can do it.
Yeah. So,
I think I should be able to.
For those watching, I hope that was fun watching me do nothing and letting these guys just do their thing. But yeah, it's always Always fun. Nice to be back. Let's just do your intro/outros. Plug anything you want to plug. We'll start. We'll just go. Let's just start with Tyler first.
Okay, so I'm Tyler Hurst, aka DM Ty from the channel On a Roll. That's ROLE, like roleplay. I'm playing Silas Gray. He is a vigilante with a past. Definitely, everyone seems to have a past in this group. But this is interesting because I did not expect this session to go this way, where he'd be facing a crisis of morals. So, great game, great players. They inspire awesome roleplay, and Harry, you're doing an awesome job as well. I'm so happy we are starting this back up again because I love this campaign. But yeah, I'm loving it. And I'll pass it off to Chris.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Harry, if you thought you were gonna get to like DM or anything. This is just the roleplay extravaganza that me, Carol, and Tyler are taking part of, and I'm playing Anson Cunningham, and he is a man with a past, and that past is a beast inside of him that when it gets a hold, it doesn't let go without getting its fill of rage. My channel is the RP Ginger, and you can find all kinds of crazy campaigns there. I mostly run Wizards of the Coast modules. I'm running Storm King's Thunder right now, so if that kind of stuff interests you, check it out, and I will pass it on to Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol. I'm playing Tanta Lightfoot. And Tanta is a shaman build that we found a homebrew online that seemed to work out. And she's playing a medicine woman. It's a seer of vengeance, which means that she, in part, goes after as she deals with the spirits. She can see the spirits of the dead. And as she deals with those, she then sometimes performs vengeance on people who killed them or did them wrong, or things like that. And that's why she did that with the spirit of Franklin. Anyway, I've totally enjoy playing with you guys. So much fun. And thanks for stopping by, Corey and Lionel, and anybody else who may have. And thanks to anybody who may stop by and look at this later. That's about all I've got.
All right. And yeah, Lionel, unfortunately, our fourth player, can't be here, but he runs this channel with me. He's playing a city slicker. Doesn't belong in the wilderness, does he? He's a good guy. He's playing a blood hunter, I think it is. Yeah. So hopefully he can just do more than. Actually, he did murder something this game. But yeah, I don't know any of his abilities, so that would have been fun. But hopefully you can just get in this game next time, man.
His main ability is a great sarcastic tone.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in another million months' time.